Before we get to the show for today, I want to thank our sponsor, Anchor.fm. As you probably have heard by now, SportsWire has moved to Anchor.fm for its podcast hosting and distribution. It's the easiest way to make a podcast, and let me explain why. Main reason is that it's free. There are creation tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or your computer, and then Anchor will distribute your podcast for you so it can be heard on any platform there is. Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, Google Podcasts, anywhere. You can make money from your podcast with no minimum listenership, and it's everything you need to make a podcast all in one place. So take it from me, Vinny Apicella from the Sports Wire. Download the free Anchor app or go to Anchor.fm to get started. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, you are listening to the most electrifying podcast in all of internet radio today. You are listening to the Sports Wire. My name is Vinny Apicella. Thank you for joining us today. I want to apologize for the past 2 days. I have not been able to produce a podcast because of where I had internet issues. As simple as that. I couldn't even get through watching Monday Night Raw. I couldn't watch AEW's Dynamite. I couldn't watch NXT. I couldn't watch NWA Power. I finally finished watching WWE Monday Night Raw on Hulu, but I'm so far backed up. It's going to take me a while. But I want to thank you for listening and downloading wherever you find your favorite podcasts. And thank you if you're supporting us. Thank you very much because I do appreciate that. Again, my name is Vinny Apicella, and you're listening to the Sports Wire. I just want to go over. We know that Survivor Series is getting set up, and we're getting closer to the event. And it's going to be Raw versus SmackDown versus NXT. One of the biggest matches on the card that we're looking forward to is the mid-card title match, if you will, between the mid-card title holders. Raw's United States Champion AJ Styles versus SmackDown's Intercontinental Champion Shinsuke Nakamura versus NXT's Undisputed Era's North American Champion Roderick Strong. That match is going to steal the show, in my opinion. All three are great workers. All three have been in wrestling for a long time and are just fantastic. All three are heels, so it remains to be seen how they're going to do that. They are setting up a 5-on-5-on-5 men's and women's match in elimination style. I wonder if they're doing it with tag teams, for the men at least. They don't have enough women's tag teams, but at least for the men, I mean, do they have 15 tag teams that they could do it? Probably not. But either way, it's going to remain to be seen because you also have a triple threat match for the tag team with the tag team champions. You have the Viking Raiders from Raw. You have the New Day of Kofi and Big E for SmackDown, and the Undisputed Era's Kyle O'Reilly and Bobby Fish for NXT. They haven't announced whether or not The Fiend or Adam Cole are going to be wrestling on the pay-per-view. You know, they are going to do Rey Mysterio versus Brock Lesnar for the WWE Championship from Raw. Why they're doing that, I don't know. But I'm wondering if it's A, Brock Lesnar didn't want to do a triple threat, or B, they just, let me put it this way, they would have backed themselves into a corner, again, if they did Brock versus The Fiend versus Adam Cole. Because that match probably would have been better looking on paper. I mean, yeah, Adam Cole could bump for Brock, but what about The Fiend? Like, I don't necessarily know about how The Fiend would fare in a triple threat match like that. Because, well, quite honestly, how are you going to do it? Who's going to win? Is The Fiend going to win, and which one is he going to go over? Or are you going to have, Brock beat Adam Cole and just not have the Fiend figure into the decision? But then the Fiend is showing so much supernatural energy. Are you going to have the Fiend win over who? Brock or Adam Cole? Or would Adam Cole pull out the upset? We don't know. Again, I think that's probably why they're not doing it. So we'll see how that shakes out. Will they, will they have the tag teams? I don't know, but they are doing the 5-on-5-on-5 for men and women. We know that the Raw team for the men is set with Seth Rollins, Randy Orton, Kevin Owens, Drew McIntyre, and Ricochet. For SmackDown, I know Roman Reigns is the captain. Baron Corbin is on there. Chad Gable, Mustafa Ali, who's Mustafa Ali again. And unfortunately, Chad Gable is still short of G. And who else is on there for SmackDown? Corbin and I'm trying to think who else is on there for SmackDown. I'll have to look, but I know they did name the fifth player. But it's like just the it's like Team Hogan versus Team Flair, just with their roster shaking up, But we're waiting for the NXT 5 as well. Also, for the women, we're still waiting. We know that Sasha Banks is the captain for the women's team for SmackDown. We know that I believe Charlotte is the captain, or Natalya is the captain for Raw. We know Lacey Evans is part of the SmackDown team. That's been announced. You've also got the triple threat women's match. You have Shayna Baszler representing NXT, Bayley representing SmackDown, and Becky Lynch representing Raw. That, I think, is going to be a fantastic match. And that match so far has the most build-up, pretty much. And it's because they've all been attacking each other. Becky's the only one that hasn't gone to NXT yet to go after Shayna, but Shayna's gone to both Raw and SmackDown a couple of times now to take on Bayley. Bayley actually came over to Raw this past week and NXT. Looks like Johnny Gargano is out with a neck injury. He won't be cleared to participate in either SmackDown or NXT TakeOver. So Finn Balor is taking on Matt Riddle at TakeOver. And then in the War Games for the men, you've got the Undisputed Era versus Tommaso Ciampa, Dominic Dijakovic, and Keith Lee, with a fourth man to be named. I don't know who that's going to be yet. I would have thought it was Matt Riddle, but I guess with our Gargano being out, they had to have Finn Balor on the pay-per-view, so he's facing Matt Riddle. So who's it going to be? Who's going to be the fourth man to step up with Tommaso Ciampa? Is it going to be the new guy, Isaiah Swerve Scott, formerly Shane Swerve Strickland on the Indies? We know one guy it's not going to be, Jordan Miles. Supposedly he quit WWE in a hate-filled, cuss-filled, curse-filled rant on Twitter, saying he quit WWE, he doesn't want to work for a quote-unquote racist company. Jordan Miles is a quote-unquote slave name. And just all this other garbage spewing out of his mouth like it has been for the past X number of months, X number of weeks. And I say good riddance. And as of now, and I'm sure he's going to be blackballed from the industry. AEW, from what I know, now this is reported by Brad Shepard, who's kind of like Dave Meltzer when it comes to the, taking it with a grain of salt department. But apparently AEW doesn't want to have anything to do with it, and I don't blame him. He threw Ring of Honor under the bus, saying that Jay Lethal is an Uncle Tom because he's their world champion, because he quote-unquote plays by the system, and then, saying this stuff about the WWE. Nobody's going to want to hire him. Nobody's going to want to touch him because, they'll get into this garbage. So, as far as I'm concerned, the dude is... he's a couple McNuggets short of a Happy Meal. And don't don't take that the wrong way. I'm not saying that there is no racism in the world, but the guy brought a lot of this on himself. All he had to do is say, "No, I'm not too cool with that design," and I really don't want that design, but he approved it. He didn't say anything about being uncomfortable, and he didn't provide anything, different. So, whatever. Hopefully that saga is over with. Hopefully he's gone, and hopefully WWE sues him for breach of contract. So we'll see how that goes. Let's see. Anything else to go over today? I don't. Like I said, I can't comment on AEW's Dynamite right now or NXT because I did not get a chance to watch it. So within the next couple of days, I will be able to comment on them. But that's pretty much it. Yeah, it is. Thanksgiving coming up quickly. Definitely get your turkeys ready. Get if you want a good turkey recipe, Good Eats, Alton Brown, he does a good one. Well, I highly recommend watching the show Romancing the Bird, the episode. Romancing the Bird is available on demand right now. Also, you can go ahead and you can... Jada De Laurentiis is a good one. I do kind of a hybrid. When I do my bird, I brine it for 24 hours in 24-hour brine. It's a citrus brine, with Sunny Delight or orange juice, a gallon of it. Fill the rest with water, but I also put lemon and water and orange in the water. Let it soak into the the meat of the bird, and it comes out tasting very delicious. But then when I actually roast the bird in the oven, I do not stuff it inside I do not put stuffing inside the bird. I put aromatics. Again, oranges, lemons, some rosemary, some thyme. I also make an herb butter that I put under the skin, so it kind of spreads throughout with rosemary and thyme, and and I bake it that way. The other good thing about the way Alton Brown does his turkey is, if you watch it, he does the turkey triangle. And what that is he go ahead and you start the oven at, I believe it's something like 475 or 500 degrees. And what you do is you put the whole bird in there uncovered for a half hour at 500 degrees. That starts to brown the skin, get everything cooking right, and then you drop the heat, I believe, to 375 or 325, and you cover the breast. So the breast starts to cook, but it doesn't get overly done, because the dark meat has to be at 180 degrees while the breast has to be at 165 degrees to be done. So you don't want to overcook the breast while getting the dark meat done. So with that said, you cover it with the foil, cover the breast only with the foil, and it helps out tremendously. Get yourself a good digital meat thermometer that'll tell you when everything is done. Probe thermometer, it's great to do, great to use. And I hope you guys, Thanksgiving is coming up, so maybe I'll have some more recipes coming up too. But anyways, I want to thank you all for listening. Again, my name is Vinny Apsello. You could find us anywhere you find your favorite podcasts: Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, Radio Public. Working on some other ones. Haven't heard anything back yet from radio.com or iHeartRadio. Let's see. Go ahead and go over to our anchor.fm page by going to www.sportswireaudio.com. That'll bring you to our anchor.fm page, where you can go ahead and go donate to my No Shave November page, which is no-shave.org/member/Vinny81. Also, you can go ahead and support our show and go from there. Again, you could follow me on Twitter at VApsella SWE. You could follow SportsWire on Twitter and Instagram at SportsWire Audio, and then email us sportswireaudio@gmail.com. I want to thank you all for listening again. My name is Vinny Apicella. I'll be back with you tomorrow, right here on the SportsWire.